think that we'd be doing our city a disservice not to move ahead with a project of this magnitude, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Fielding.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise today to support the Plan Winnipeg amendment that we are debating here today. For me, what this project really represents is a regaining of confidence in our development as a city and shows the outside world that Winnipeg, once again, is becoming a city of opportunity. The project is something that most Winnipeggers have been talking about and waiting for a very, very, very long time. What the project represents, as Councillor Clement had said, is a $400 million investment into the Winnipeg economy. And the signs, and it shows that Winnipeg is truly a city on the move. The development is also expected to create hundreds, if not thousands, of full-time and part-time jobs at full build-out. $3.7 million of incremental taxes at build-out, and really represents an opportunity to have a true destination center here that will draw people from all over Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Northwestern Ontario, and the Dakotas and throughout the United States. Now, I have heard some concerns. Councillor Clement had mentioned, I think the meetings were close to 10 hours. There has been some concerns of the project. I've heard that it's possibly too big, or people don't like the locations, or the fact that some people are going to have to take cars to get to this location. I have also heard the suggestion that somehow climate change is dramatically going to be impacted by this one development. I'm not sure that's necessarily the case. The question I ask is, since when did development become a dirty word? Most jurisdictions, as Councillor Clement had indicated, would be lining up in these challenging economic times to find a development where there's $400 million being pumped into our economy. Another question that I might ask is, what is the matter with giving residents some choice? These types of developments are obviously very popular. Anyone that's gone to Kenniston Common, gone to the Pole Park area, gone to Costco on a Saturday, know that people drive to these things, come to these things in droves. So they're very popular amongst our citizens. It's something that I think we should give choice to our citizens that are there. Another issue that's been talked about is in terms of location. Some people have suggested this should go downtown. They should don't like the location overall. I can tell you there's a limited amount of space that a development like this can happen. I think we've done some good work in terms of the planning aspects, in terms of road designs and that sorts. And I can tell you it makes a lot of sense where it is. But if you do look at the land services, you know, some people have raised concerns about the commercial capacity. Do we have the capacity to do it? Well, let's take a look what the employment land strategy says and see if it makes sense from a land use strategy. The employment land strategy indicates that Tuxedo Yards lands are better suited for commercial use. Quote unquote, it says, commercial lands currently available for the new developments are limited and will meet the short-term and long-term demand. Winnipeg does not have an adequate inventory of lands dedicated as areas of regional commerce and mixed-use concentration to meet the needs of the marketplace. Normal annual market absorption of new retail space has been averaging around 300,000 square feet per year over the next decade. The IKEA and the new stores that are associated that will draw close to 400,000 square feet for the IKEA alone. So obviously there is a capacity for this type of development. No developer would risk spending $400 million of their own money or leverage money to develop something if they haven't done the market research to say that there's a need and there's a demand for it. Now, a lot of the issues that we heard of for the 10 hours in the committee hearings talked about some of the transportation issues. And I don't want to underestimate the importance of them, because they are. People are living in this area, they're traveling in this area, we need to make sure that we've accommodated. But, and I'm not going to go as far as I know there's a number of councillors that turn into traffic engineers throughout the site plan. But what I can tell you is I've taken a look at the site plan, I've looked what the administration has said, I've looked at what the applicant has put together, and I think that the plan addresses the increase of traffic flows for the area in terms of not just the traffic flows for cars. Councillor Clement went into in terms of all the active transportation corridors that we've done, as well as there's a transportation study which we worked with Winnipeg Transit to develop further. I think if there's a need, there's a capacity, then we take a look at that further later on down the line. So I believe the traffic plan for the area addresses the added traffic flow needs that's been talked about. And one other item in terms of this, you know, the developer has a suggestion in terms of the plan and is incorporating the plans that will do this development of all the roads up front. That's way before the build out of the whole facility. So you're going to see an excess traffic flow, whether it be down Kenniston, Sterling Lion Parkway before the conclusion, before the 2018 full build out. So in conclusion, the IKEA and surrounding proposal is a very positive development here in the city of Winnipeg. The job creation investment in our community is a benefit to our city as a whole and shows Winnipeg is truly on a move and a city to watch. The transportation plan, I believe, addresses a lot of the transportation issues that are there, and I'm very supportive and excited to see this development happen. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Encourage you all to support
Thank you,
it.
Councillor. Councillor Thomas.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I will not reiterate Councillor Gervasi's concerns. I believe she's done an excellent job of identifying a lot of the concerns here, so I won't go into that. I don't believe anyone is questioning the popularity, value, or the excitement around the coming IKEA project.